Hey everyone, it's Barbara Teckel with July's Animal Ally Guidance for us all, and it is Ant Spirit. And the message on the card says time to collaborate. Right away when I look at Ant Spirit and I think about time to collaborate, the question we should ask ourselves is, where in our life could we benefit from asking for help? And I know so often we think of asking for help as a weakness, but it is not a weakness. I certainly really understood that this last year. I've had so many people support me on my journey. And actually, I've had people support me on my journey since, my first life coach, probably back in 2004. But when I think about Ant Spirit and time to collaborate, there is no shame in asking for help. This is how we move forward in life, right? And when you think about when you've been able to help somebody else, you know how good that feels. I'm sure you do. I know for me, I feel so fulfilled and so rewarded when I can help others, live more meaningful lives. So, Ant Spirit and time to collaborate, that is what I'm thinking of in the moment right now. And when I look at the card, if you look at the card with me, you can see there's 3 puzzle pieces between the 2 ants. And I really link this to the fact that what is the missing link that's causing you to maybe feel stuck in your life and not knowing how to move forward? There's a piece of the puzzle that's missing. And perhaps with Ant Spirit being our animal ally for July, Ant is calling you to look at what is that missing piece? What is that missing puzzle? And is it that you need to reach out for some help in whatever area you're feeling stuck in? So I just have to share with you also, I love that Ant Spirit came up today because I've had 2 recent encounters with ants that had me thinking in a new way. So I want to share that with you because I think that's related here to my having pulled this card for July's reading. So the other day I came across a very large anthill in my yard, in my rock garden, and this huge community of ants. And I was mesmerized as I just stood there and I watched them, because each ant had their task. You could clearly see this. And it was really beautiful to witness how there were so many ants, but nobody was running into each other. They each were determined and had their task. And it was actually really peaceful to watch because they all seemed to be working in collaboration, within their own community. And then just a few days ago, I was out on my walk. And normally, for many, many years, I always pushed a stroller in front of me with one of my disabled dachshunds. And now that Gidget's gone, I am out walking by myself. And this was the first time I realized, I looked down at the sidewalk as I was walking and started to notice all these anthills. And for a moment, I thought about how often when I was pushing a stroller, I probably ran over some of those anthills. And for a moment, I felt bad, but it wasn't that I consciously did that. But it was just such an important reminder that, these living creatures are below our feet and they're doing their work in the world that contributes to the world. And so I made a conscious effort to not step on the anthills and to let them do their work. But it also reminds me of, the importance, ants are they work on the ground, they live on the ground, they go underground, into the cracks of the sidewalk. And it just reminds me of the importance of foundation and the importance of structure. I know I do much better when I have structure in my life. And the only way to living a more meaningful and more creative and fulfilling life is, we have to build a foundation. And every day there's an opportunity and an experience to build upon that foundation. So I love turning to the book called Animal Speak by Ted Andrews. And I love this line in there about Ant that I wanted to share with you also. Ant teaches us, regardless of circumstances, If the effort is true, the rewards will follow in the most beneficial time and manner. Ant is the promise of success through effort. And this really struck me because think about a time in your life when you have been working really hard to achieve something, whether that's in your career or a personal growth that you're going through, or maybe it's a relationship. And how you feel when you've really put your heart into it. You know this is something that really matters to you. And the promise of the success through effort. That feels so good, doesn't it? And as an example, I'm thinking about, for me recently, just having finished writing my manuscript for my third memoir. I'm finished with the writing process of it. And I just submitted it to my editor, which was another big step for me. And when I think about Ant Spirit and Time to Collaborate, there's no way I could publish a book without a team of people that have been helping me and supporting me. And I have so many people so far that have been so generous in their kindness and their support of this endeavor of mine with my third memoir. So think about that in your own life in relation to the Ant Spirit. So I wanted to ask Ant Spirit before we left today if there's any other message that Ant has for us. And I turned to the Wisdom of the Oracle. And the message is Loyal Heart. And when I look at this card, Loyal Heart, from the Wisdom of the Oracle, it really says to me to be true to what matters to your heart. That is what Ant Spirit wants us to know, that we have to first and foremost tune into our heart and follow those impulses and follow that calling. And then when it's time, and sometimes even when you're afraid to follow your heart, that's when you can reach out for help and collaborate with others and turn to other people who will support you in something that may feel scary, even though you feel it in your heart, right? So we have to first be loyal to ourselves and be devoted to ourselves and what we truly want. And then magically what happens is the helpers will appear to help us along our journey to what really matters to us. So I hope you enjoyed that message for July and Ant Spirit. If that resonated for you, let me know. I'd love to know. It's always fun for me to hear from you. And as you go through July and maybe Ant Spirit will show up for you in some way, let me know that too. I'd love to know. All right? Okay, have a great July, and we'll see you again in August. Bye-bye.